One of the more dangerous things we do in off-road sport is recovery. Winching, kinetic recovery, etc. It can be so dangerous. Howdy y'all, Jaybird here, and welcome to 4x4 Today, where we bring you rides, events, and news that you can use. All right, so this one's going to be a little bit different. I have watched this particular YouTube video. I want to encourage you to watch it too. It is an hour long, but it really goes into detail. It is by Caleb, or also Popo Patty, and it's titled "The Off-Road Recovery That Almost Killed Me." Now, basically, what happened was he was riding in a group. He, wanted to do some filming like I like to do, so pulled away, got stuck. Now, somebody came along, they yanked him out. Didn't work. They did it again, yanked him out. The second pull, the soft shackle gave way, actually was so strong, went through the windshield of the vehicle. Actually, he thought that he had, done his jugular. I mean, he's all bruised, all here. Blood was going everywhere. They actually had to be life flighted out. It did not kill him, but he thought he was going to die at that point. There are lots of lessons that we can learn from this video. He wants to share this video so that other people don't make this mistake. So I want to give you my reaction, my highlights. So I'm not going to just talk about all the things he did bad, because there was a whole bunch of stuff that he did right. And there's some awesome things that he is recommending that we do that I think we need to take. So first of all, let's talk about the good things he did. The things he did right, the stuff he went. One, he went out as a group. Okay, so he was with a group. He wasn't out there by himself. He had a whole group of people with him, four-wheeling and having a good time out in the snow. That sounded like a great trip that he was taking. Second, when he did get stuck, the one thing is he was impatient. No, I don't want to. That's one of the things. But somebody came along. And he hooked everything himself. So he didn't rely on somebody he didn't know to hook up both his vehicle and another vehicle. So he hooked himself up. If you don't know the people and you're not familiar with them, he hooked himself up because he knew how to hook the recovery gear up, etc. So that's actually one of the ranks. He also had a proper first aid kit, not just one of these cheap ones. It was a full trauma kit. It had some stop the bleed stuff in it. It had some, and he knew how to use the stuff. He actually now knows some things that he needs to add to his first aid kit because of this. He would add some gauze, but he had a proper first aid kit, and he knew how to use it, and it was accessible. The other thing is he had communication with the outside world. So he had both GMRS and hand radios, and he knew the frequencies to get to relays to get to the outside world. So there was communication involved. Now, communication is also, one of the negative things that happen. So before I get to the negative things, just real quick, I need a like and a subscribe. If you have some comments if you watch this video, let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what other things he did right, because I don't want to just harp on things that he did wrong. But I think we can take a lesson from this. So let's now talk about what went wrong. So one of the things he didn't do is he was impatient. So he didn't wait for his group. He radioed ahead, said he was stuck. They're probably turning around, coming back for him, but somebody else came behind that he didn't know, said he would help. What he should have done is says, hey, I'm going to wait for the people I know. Not that, just because you don't know the person doesn't mean they don't, but you don't know that person's skill level. That might be their first day out. They might be something. They don't know how to use your equipment, etc. Trust your gut, trust your feeling. If you feel like you should, wait, it's okay to wait. Don't be rushed. And so that's the thing. He was rushed, and because he was rushed, he didn't take the time after the first pull to inspect what was going wrong. After they moved it around to the front, he didn't take the time to inspect why he was stuck, why it wasn't working. His tire was stuck in a bank, where before he was in the tracks, and then after the second pull, he was in a bank and it was impacted, so it was not happening. Also, the pull was so hard the first time, he should have stopped and said, hey, we just need a soft yank to start with to see if it's going to pull. But since he was rushed, he was worried about the other group. The other people will wait. They understand, and we all get stuck. Sometimes we need to, just calm down. I know the adrenaline's flowing, all that kind of stuff. All right. Definitely the pull was too hard. You don't need to yank as hard as possible. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things. You don't need to go 100 miles an hour to get that kinetic rope stretched, all that kind of stuff. That yank was hard, and it actually tore some of the mounting points on his Bronco. It tore and cut the soft shackle, and the soft shackle went flying into his windshield. And so the yank was too hard. If after the first yank it was too hard, he should have stopped, communicated with the driver, and says, hey, we don't need to go this far. Let's stop and let's look and see what we net have. There again, stopping and assessing. If the first yank didn't work, hey, just more power. No, not necessarily. It could be, there's something, and as like I said, his bumper was into the bank. It wasn't going to pull out because of how it was. Maybe digging some of the snow. So stop and reassess if that didn't work. Just more power is not going to get it. Now, recovery points. I'm the safety officer for my my club, and the first thing I look for new people is what kind of recovery points they have front and rear. And they had the D shackles, and then they had the clevis areas, and he put the soft shackle through there. He doesn't know whether, he goes into detail whether it cut the rope or not cut the rope, but there was a lot of stuff there. So possibly his mistake was how he put the recovery point, and which side of the vehicle he put the recovery point on made a difference. So that is a big point to make. Think about your recovery. Also, the recovery gear. He had some name brand recovery gear, and he had some off-brand recovery gear. And he now looks back and says, okay, so his recovery gear was not good. If it's not rated, if it's not, if there's a red flag, if it's not tagged, maybe it's not the best recovery gear. Maybe we need to figure something out. I carry a lot of recovery gear, and I try to make sure it has the rating tag, so I know that it's good quality. If it doesn't have the tag, it needs to be thrown out, etc. So those are some of the points. Now, I really encourage you to watch this video. He goes into some few things that he would do different. One of the things I really like is the fact that he's now, talking about where to place the first aid kit. You know how to use your first aid kit. Maybe somebody else doesn't. Maybe you're the one that's being sick. And also where to place it. You need it very visible for everybody to see. If it's buried underneath your recovery gear, you may have seconds and you need to get it, and you know where it is. But when you say somebody is going to go through your vehicle, they need to be able to easily access that first aid kit, easy accessible. Also, communications. His thought is now, he knew where his repeaters were in the area for the ham radio. He's thinking about having a separate little handheld Bofang type radio already programmed to the repeaters that are necessary, just sitting somewhere, with red tape on it. So if something happens, a person who doesn't know how to use the ham radio, doesn't know how to program it, all that kind of stuff, just can turn it on and call for help. They were able to get a life flight for him. Everything's fine. He's good. But it gives us a lesson. So please watch this video. If you have some comments on the video, I'd love to hear them. Safety. I want to keep everybody safe so that I can, see you on the trails. So I'm Jay Bird, the Ice Cream Man, and let's stay safe out on those trails.